Brother Burke, he was a class teacher. Before the board exams, the prelims, he summoned my mother, showing her my answer sheets and all that stuff. Said one thing. He said, Mrs. Aluwalia, I don't know if your son will pass class 10, but he will write one day.
So this is in my opinion, and today we are going into the mind of a writer.
So there was this young girl, Ranbir Kaur, I was writing about. She was actually a soldier in the American army. So when I reached, I could see the father is telling the daughter, Ranbir Kaur, कि मैं तेनू कह रहा सी ना, voice बड़ी young है. They thought it's the older Khushwant.
Let me tell you something. When I read Maharaja in Denims, I thought it's autobiographical in some parts. Is it? So we have talked about all your writings, and the specific thing in my head for doing that was, do you have pain inside you which you want to express? Some anguish that Punjab has had a hard time? Most of us live one life, but there are some people who live multiple lives in one lifetime. And today's guest is somebody like that. He is a columnist, he's an editor, he's a biography writer, he is a fiction author, he's a farmer, and now he's also a voice of civil society. Please welcome Sardar Khushwant Singh ji. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Navjot. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I don't know. I have seen that people who write biographies, they have to go and dig the truth. And people who write fiction, they have to be very imaginative and have a sort of their own world. So how do you merge the two?
So I've tested both the worlds. So I have this, if you look at a pattern of my writing, I do a biography of fiction, a biography of fiction.
Yes.
So once I'm writing a biography, I kind of am done with it. And then I want to be in my own space, and I turn to a fiction. So what happens is that in a biography, basically, the life is already set.
Yeah.
Right. You just have to unravel that
Yes.
life.
Yes.
It is sheer hard work, research, whatever process you follow that diligently. But there is a life which is set. You just have to unravel it and bring that into words. Whereas in fiction, you set your own world, you
Yes.
set your own imagination, you bring in your own characters, you build your own people,
Hanji.
own situations. So the flight of imagination is very different, because in a biography, actually, there's no flight of imagination
Yeah,
except,
it's all facts.
yes, except the expression.
Yeah.
So, and when I get done with a fiction, then I want to explore a life, because exploring lives and writing about people actually has very interesting, I would say, an influence on you also. There's so much to
Definitely.
learn
Definitely.
through a personality, because obviously if you're writing about a personality, there is some sort of merit in it. And the experience when you go through meeting these people is fabulous.
Yes. So this is in my opinion, and today we are going into the mind of a writer, and we'll definitely try to find out how that mind works. So Khushwantji, let's begin from the beginning. When you were a child, did you know that you want to write? Yeah. Dheere dheere, with time, you found this urge to express.
The only thing that I remember, and I think which has stayed with me, and I've shared it across forums, is that in my class 10, uh, in St. John's School, Chandigarh,
Hanji.
we had an Irish brother, Brother Burke. He was a class teacher. And before the board exams, the prelims, he summoned my mother, uh, showing her my answer sheets and all that stuff. But he said one thing. He said, Mrs. Aluwalia, I don't know if your son will pass class 10, but he will write one day. So I think that has stayed with me. That was perhaps the first insight into, my world of writing.
So what the teacher said, did that trigger you to write, or there was something that the teacher identified?
obviously the teacher must have identified something, but it did not trigger. I mean, I had a very different life. I got into horse riding. I was the national champion for tent pegging, junior, and I got, my college life was all on a horseback. Uh, but when I got into writing after my mass comm, actually, I started as a journalist. That became the force that stayed with me. That never let me go down in confidence. That one line. So that stayed as that halo around you, you know. So, and it still is there because I think the first words, initial words by a teacher are very, very
Definitely,
important.
definitely. I have always believed that a teacher's one word, actually, that's the genesis of this podcast also. That one word from somebody can sometimes change your
Perhaps,
life.
yes, perhaps those words were the premise to my life.
Yeah. So, when you first you were a columnist, Punjabi by nature, you wrote for a lot of years in Hindustan Times, and then you shifted to writing a book.
So you don't get a column before you had a history of writing.
Huh.
So after I completed my mass comm, I actually joined an advertising agency. Uh, but one day I just quit. I said, this is not my kind of a job. And I went back to the farm. I joined my father. He gave me a patch of land to look after. And I was what, 24, 25, and I started writing for the Agriculture Tribune. There was a page the Tribune had on agriculture. And as a young idealist, I had, you were bursting with ideas. Sometimes your father doesn't let you implement those ideas, but then you write about them.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh, so I used to write very regularly there. And then somehow I started reporting for the Times of India. And then in 2005, since I was covering a lot of Punjab, Doaba, after 9/11, I used to get, a lot of these emails from America about the hate crimes
Happening there. Yeah.
on the Sikhs.
Yeah.
And in 2005, I decided that let me write a book on eminent Sikhs of USA and UK to showcase to the world their contribution
Yes.
to the world.
Yes.
And I embarked on a journey and wrote about 15 people. The book is titled Sikhs
Yes,
Unlimited.
I know. Yeah.
So that was my first attempt into a book. Rupa published it. And that also trained me how to write biographies. But luckily, I had the journalistic rigor
Yeah.
to interview and put a story together.
Yeah.
So that was my first voyage into, as I would say, into writing.
Yeah, from the perspective of a budding writer, anybody who's listening to us, watching this podcast, if there's a young boy or a young girl who wants to write, so how difficult was it to write for the first time and then get it published? I'm talking about the book because it's a challenge.
It's a challenge. I was just lucky, I would say. I attempted to send that manuscript to some other publishers also. Uh, but I think Rupa saw merit in it at that time, and it was a hot topic, the whole hate crime thing.
Yeah.
And also the selection of people was very interesting. So the stories were very, very interesting. I mean, and it was such a canvas because I had a white American Sikh, Gurjot Singh Khalsa, I remember. He was perhaps the father of offshoring and outsourcing to the world. I had Gurinder Chadda, I had Fauja Singh, and Fauja Singh was just emerging at that time. In 2005, he had been Adidas's, brand ambassador. Then I had this gentleman, Tony Singh, a very unique chef. He ran perhaps one of the most sought after restaurants in Edinburgh. So I had a very interesting.
So, what was the process like when you approached those people? Did they happily agree to talk with you? Because you were, or did they know about your journalism?
So I think So you need, one little hook which gives the other person a trust that you are serious. So I think I was working for Times of India that gave that, little privilege of
Yes.
me being able to approach them.
Yes.
But I was naive, I remember, so I stayed with people. I stayed with them for 4 5 days, and how, uh, this would, how they lived their lives and how their work was. But, you're young and you really don't know sometimes the sensitivities. So when you're especially writing to, say, a lady, so when I wrote to Gurinder Chadda that, I would need to be spending days with you, she says, I never realized this would be so intrusive. So she declined it at the first. But finally, we met up in LA. Somehow we kept in touch, and so yeah. But everyone did offer. In fact, there is this incident in Fresno in California. So there was this young girl, Ranbir Kaur, I was writing about, and she was actually a soldier in the American Army. She'd first served in Iraq, then she went to Afghanistan. I think they're called specialists. And so when I reached, I could see the father and son having this dispute. So the father is telling the daughter Ranbir Kaur कि मैं तेनू कह रहा सी ना voice बड़ी young है. They thought it's the older Khushwant. So they had made a room, done up a room on the ground floor, thinking that the older Khushwant would be more comfortable. So a lot of interesting episodes.
So, मैं जो again I'll go back to कि जो young लोग today, when somebody has the courage to pick up a pen and a paper and that person starts writing, they would just want to know what a successful author does. So, do you have some inspiration in your head first and then you start writing, or do you have a fixed schedule that you write for a certain number of hours? Like, what's the process?
See, the first process is to get the manuscript ready.
So, how do you go about it?
So the problem with young authors is that they first want to understand the publishing part of it without work, right? And once you contact a publisher without work, you've lost that communication.
Yes.
Because the first thing the publisher is going to ask is, where's your work? So for anyone who's, I mean, I keep getting calls, emails, meeting people. Everyone has an author, in them.
Yeah.
And everyone says, I'm writing a book, I want to write a book. But only those end up writing a book who can show endurance and discipline every day. You have to open up your laptop every day. Even if you're deleting words, that's also work.
So you write something.
I write even, I mean, there have been occasions where I've just written one line and looked at the screen, with a blank look and kept staring at it.
At a fixed time every day?
Yes. So largely my routine was there was this barista right next to my house in Sector 11. So 2005, after my interviews, I came back to India, and I would go there every day about 9:30, 10, and till about 12 I used to write every day. So almost every book I've done that, except that if I have to research, there's a lot of material, then I would, need to sit in my study. But otherwise, till COVID, right? Almost all my books were written in that barista till that barista shut down. So yes, but it's a routine.
It's a discipline.
Anyone who's seen me has seen me have this laptop bag slung on my shoulder and walking from my house to barista every day.
So you have to be disciplined to write, like everything else.
How do you complete a book?
Yeah.
For example, on an average, we write at least 500 to 600 words we exchange on a WhatsApp, right? All youngsters, or we also do that. Imagine if you were to write those 500 words every day for a book.
So
You would have,
yeah.
so you're actually writing that much, but what you're writing is crap. So if it is dedicated, but endurance. So a lot of people ask me, we want to write a book. I said, pick up a pen and pencil and write every day. That's your first. If you will keep waiting that you want the fanciest pen or this thing, it doesn't matter.
Or some inspiration will come one
There's
day.
no inspiration. It's sheer hard work.
Okay.
It's sheer hard work. There's no inspiration. Inspiration or triggers can keep happening during the course of the work. Right? You get ideas, you get dreams. Because once you're writing a book,
You are too much into it. Yeah.
you start eating, dreaming, living that book. When I was writing Six Unlimited, my friends got fed up of me because I was just talking about people I'd met or my book. But that's the journey. That's how the journey is.
And then you wrote a book on Fauja Singh because he impressed you so much?
No. So what happened was that once Six Unlimited happened, then I had met him. Then his coach called me in 2009 that Fauja turns 100 in 2011, and you did a good job with, you understood his Punjabi spirit, and you put an account together. Can you convert that into a full biography? So I said yes. So there was no commercial interest, nothing. I just went to England and spent a lot of time with Fauja Singh.
And with People's Maharaja, so till Fauja Singh, you were still dealing with normal people and with, of course, people who were doing well outside of India, but still there were people like you and me. But here you were going to write with real royalty and a CM and a political figure, known figure. So how did he trust you? No, but that's a valid question. Like somebody trusting with their whole life.
So once I'd written Fauja Singh's biography, then Six Unlimited, there was another book, Mending Souls. And Hay House approached me. I knew Captain Amrinder.
Okay.
And they asked me that, since you have access, would you be interested in writing his biography? So they had approached me in 2011, end of 2011. They were expecting that in 2012, the Congress will form the government. And I hadn't spoken to Captain Amrinder at that time. I thought I'll speak to him, once the results are out. And obviously, it was a poor show by Congress. And I asked him 3 days later. So I told him that now you're free. We can, I have a proposal from Hay House to. So he said, who will buy it? Because his mood was also very low. I said, but you've been, narrating so many anecdotes, and you've been part of a very turbulent part of the history of Punjab, So it's good to bring things on record. You hear him now on podcast sharing all that, but obviously that's all documented in the biography.
Yeah.
And building trust, I think I did not hide anything that came my way. Everything is mentioned. I did a lot of hard work. Um, on his side, he never, not even a word, he asked me to omit or add. Whether it's the critique part, whether it's a personal life comment, whether it's information. I think the way you build trust is that the protagonist must have this confidence that the person will be able to handle the biography.
But Khushwantji, biographies have this one pitfall that everybody has some part of their life which they don't want others to know. So could you reach there, or was it whatever you wanted
I
to
don't know
share?
if you've read the biography.
I've read.
Yeah. So I think everything is mentioned. There is no part which is not mentioned. Be it
No, but
his
maybe
personal
there's
life.
some part which.
So that part maybe I didn't come across
Yes,
that.
that's what I'm
Right?
asking.
But largely, I think he was a very honest protagonist. Uh, I started writing this biography of a very eminent, national leader, and he backed out within a week
Oh.
because you need courage to
हाँ
put
जी,
your life
बिल्कुल,
out there.
बिल्कुल.
And Captain Amarinder had that courage um, to bear himself. And I took all the questions and he gave all the answers.
Did anything surprise you when you were digging and you were finding out things? कुछ ऐसा जो you felt कि अच्छा ये this I did not know about him.
Um, I mean, I had a fair idea because, you know, I had these conversations with him before. But what surprised me, I mean, everyone knew his love for the army.
Yeah.
Uh, but what surprised me was the brilliance of as a historian with facts and figures. And at some point he would get stubborn also with dates, you know, especially with his political life. But then I had to kind of navigate because I knew that this is the true you know, date or the incident. But that can happen to
Yeah, with
memory.
anybody, yeah.
That can happen to memory.
Yeah.
I think two things happened that two things which uh, I could not interview you know, some family members of his because I think they initially thought that, you know, this is going to be um, some sort of, you know, a sensational kind of a thing. So they hesitated. Also, people who hesitated were some of the opposition people because, you know, they got into Ode Walda, not realizing that this is a very professional work that is being done.
Yeah.
So those were the drawbacks, challenges. But then you can't stop work, you know, you have to kind of move around and
And then you wrote Maharaja in Denims. Let me tell you something. When I read Maharaja in Denims, I thought it's autobiographical in some parts. Is it?
no, not at all.
I thought that's you who's the Hari person's name. Yeah, the protagonist's name. So
No,
is it?
not really. I mean, I never got flashbacks of being
No,
Maharaja
but
Ranjit Singh.
somehow I thought the author is imagining that.
Yeah, so the author, so largely as an author, your the mind is like a chip, as I say. You know, whatever data you've built over the years is what you reproduce. Uh, but maybe that's not personal, but it is data which, you know, you build around you, seeing people, experiencing people, or visiting places, or but maybe that might not be your personal experience.
Yes, of
in
course.
terms of like
Of course.
like it's happened to you,
No,
but
no,
but
yeah.
yeah, you've picked it up
Yeah.
along the life. Actually, Maharaja and Denims got released before
Uh,
People's
People's
Maharaja, and uh, Captain Amrinder released it at the golf club, and he had read the whole book. And his opening lines were that, Khushwant, I have read the whole book and you are writing my biography. I'm worried now.
No, but I found the book lovely. And again, in that book, you have so much talked about Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And that shows your love for Punjab and for Sikhism and for Sikhs.
So for Punjab, my land, I think so. The book actually is about this young boy who keeps getting flashbacks of being Maharaja Ranjit Singh, but he recalls two other lives alongside, um, as a 1947 victim and a 1984 riots victim. Right? So through that book, I have juxtaposed the, you know, Punjab's rough history, rough as in tough history, turbulent history, you know, of the current time,
Yeah.
and juxtaposed it with, you know, the reign of Maharaja
Maharaja
Ranjit
Ranjit Singh,
Singh.
yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of comparing geography, secularism,
Hmm.
and all those
Hmm, hmm,
things.
hmm. So, Maharaja Ranjit Singh, what do you find? Do you find anything which we can all imbibe today, or something which you found very inspirational, which you see,
I mean, he
talk
was a
about?
king, like
I
all
know,
kings
but
were,
as a person,
but as a person, I think, see, everyone says that he was secular,
hmm.
but you must understand that secular combination was not because he wanted to give, these people of different religion posts. He was giving them as per merit,
Yes.
and the combination emerged as
Huh.
such
Hmm.
that his entire team, his entire
It was not
versus.
reservation like it is today.
Yes. So it and he also did not have any hitch,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
So the combination emerged as this very,
Hmm.
very secular, but it was a very merit based.
Hmm.
So I think it's like, I was interviewing someone I know in Microsoft, very senior gentleman. So I asked him, what is that one quality of Bill Gates? He says, Bill Gates, the only big quality is that in a room, he lets the best idea win.
Hmm. Yes.
So this is exactly what Maharaja Ranjit Singh did, that every person be given a job as per the merit, nothing else.
Hmm.
So I think, yeah, that's, I think, his very, very important quality to
Something which we can learn today.
learn today.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you shifted entirely to a different genre, which is fiction and also romance. So how did that come about?
That is the Opium Toffee
Yes,
you're
the
talking.
opium toffee.
It's again set in Punjab.
I know.
It's again set in
I'm reaching that
80s.
point only, that all through it has been Punjab. I'll come to that. But it has an element of romance and people getting away from each other and then meeting again.
So Maharaja and Denims also has a very strong hook of
Yeah.
romance.
Mm.
And so does Opium Toffee.
Mm.
And, when you're writing, you don't plot these things somehow. They just happen. But I wanted to write a book uh, again on that period. So the point is that we have read largely, um, you know, Punjab or its stories through non-fiction.
Hmm.
And non-fiction becomes very limited because only our people consume the content. At least when it comes into, fiction, uh, there is a larger audience that reads it. Someone in Bangalore is reading it, someone in Chennai is reading it. And that's how they connect with the shared pain. They can share that pain, what has happened.
Hmm.
Otherwise, for example, the Holocaust,
Hmm.
once it came into the fictional form, then
Yes.
movies were made,
Yes,
and
yes.
then the whole world
Yes.
the world could identify.
Mhm.
Similarly, now we are adapting this
Yes,
into a
yes,
film,
I was going to talk about that.
right?
Yeah.
So bringing stories of your land through fiction is very important for storytelling to happen.
So that's in your mind when you're doing it, that I have to write about Punjab, but
I think that's what I know the best also.
hmm.
Also, what had happened was that there was so much of research uh, after during Captain Amarinder's biography that a book was waiting.
Hmm.
That how can I convert this entire information that I've absorbed into
Hmm.
something.
Yes.
So I converted that entire information uh,
Hmm.
through the
But I
Opium
think a
Toffee.
part of it is also set in London, right? So
Yes, both my books actually part
yeah,
of it.
yeah. So is there some London connection that you have?
No, really. I mean, it's the easiest flight to take. So, and also it brings in London is a very vibrant city.
Hmm.
So a lot of people connect with that. So it's largely for all my story scenes. I have traveled personally and I have gone through those experiences and written. For example, the opium toffee, the
हाँ जी
first scene is about this um, sick superstar woman fashion. She finds her boyfriend begging
yeah on the street
on the strand,
yeah
and it is right next to the Savoy Hotel. And Savoy has been notorious for all kinds of affairs and
हाँ
uh, so I sat in a cafe there and wrote that scene
जी
for about 3-4 days. In fact, for Maharaja and Denims also, where I talk about the Kohinoor, where I talk about Maharaja Ranjit Singh's throne, where I talk about Maharaja Duleep Singh. I went to Elvedon House. I went to the Victoria and Albert Museum for the throne. I went to the Tower of London for the Kohinoor, just to experience, that how Ranjit Singh would have felt.
Yeah. So we have talked about all your writings, and the specific thing in my head for doing that was कि आपको क्या आप do you have pain inside you which you want to express, some anguish that Punjab has had a hard time, or
I think pain, at times anger, um, but pain because we grew up in that era. You know,
yeah
our generation,
yeah
perhaps what we can call is
yes
lost childhoods,
yes
because we were huddled by 5:30 inside,
yes
that you can't be playing outside.
yeah
So, so I think that kind of,
so all the time you are expressing that pain.
in some form, yeah.
Yeah.
And perhaps writing is my medium
As
to
a
do that.
reader, I find that thread, that there's this pain that you wish to heal probably through writing.
Maybe. I mean, I cannot pinpoint that, but there is something that I always come up. I mean, I've told myself I'm not writing on Punjab anything anymore, but I just end up doing that. It just comes to me naturally.
Yeah, two of your books are being made into a web series, and one is one in web series and one a movie.
So Maharaja and Denims is a movie which we are making on our own.
Okay.
It had been optioned by Guneet Monga
हाँ जी, that's what I
initially,
read,
but
yeah.
not now. Now I have an AI startup,
I know that.
and we
In
are
Teleflix?
in Teleflix.
So one more thing, like I was saying, so many lives in one lifetime. So you are a CEO of a
Yes,
movie
after my
company.
stint in the Information Commission, I was looking for something to do.
Yeah.
And we have this startup now where we are making Maharaja and Denims as a full-fledged movie through AI. It will be perhaps the world's first full-length AI movie. And it's a Punjab startup again. We deliberately registered it in Punjab so that if
I
it
know,
marks that milestone, at least we'll be able to say this is a Punjab startup.
And
So
the other one is
the opium toffee.
yeah.
We are going to make it after this. We'll only make
Okay,
it.
you will make
Yeah, after we complete Maharaja. It's almost at the finishing stages.
So the opium toffee also talks about drug addiction and
It does. It's about a boy who
Huh.
gets into drug addiction and how he loses, control of his life and then gets into extremism and
हाँ जी.
takes the donkey route
Yeah.
to escape
Yeah.
and to England.
And recently you have been fighting against drugs in Punjab, like for the last so many years. One reads in the newspaper and sees that you have formed this one big agitation against
No, I wouldn't call it an
and not an
agitation.
agitation,
I
yes,
would
of
call it a
course.
civil society
Yes,
movement.
yes.
This is out of anger, sheer anger. In 2023, I was sitting and watching these two videos of these young boys dying of adulterated, injections with heroin. And I got so frustrated and angry, and I said, this bullshit of, political narratives and all of us discussing in this drawing room, bade drugs hai, kam koi karda
हाँ
nahi
जी,
hai.
हाँ जी.
Right? No one wants to
Yeah.
contribute to this cause, and the political narrative is either to retain power or to attain
Yes,
power. They are not
yes,
bothered.
yes.
So I just started walking alone 10 days later, and I called it the People's Walk Against Drugs, so that at least there is some civil society awareness that we must correct it ourselves. And I walked 100 kilometers from Chandigarh to Khatkar Kala,
Hmm.
and people did join us.
Hmm.
And from there now we do it annually.
Hmm. And you're spearheading this movement, mothers.
Yes, so Mothers Against Drugs was an idea that came during the walk because a lot of women would ask us questions, a lot of women would turn up, and I realized that, this is such a natural defense line. Why don't we empower them? It's something like, we are all patriotic,
Hanji.
but the moment we get that Fajida seed, we start thinking differently. So that was my motive. And we have this NGO. My co-founder is Sana Kaushal. She looks after that part of Mothers Against Drugs. And from there, we started building Mothers Against Drugs, where we go to schools, request them to hold a parent-teacher meeting, specially called mothers, and we bring in behavior experts and clinical psychologists to kind of make mothers aware how can they look at the problem and deal with it. So it is largely around prevention. That how can we prevent our children from getting into this? And we've sensitized over 7,000 mothers till now. And we do the People's Walk annually. In fact, in 24, the governor Punjab joined me. He walked with me for 2 days, 15 kilometers. Then he joined me this year also.
So in 26, it's going to happen this month, right?
No, we did our 26. So I couldn't do the 25 one in December. I had a little health issue. So we did that in Feb 26. And now we'll do it in 27 maybe, or December maybe this.
So do you see the same sentiment, the same thread running through your writing, your movie making, being a farmer, civil society voice? Do you see the same thing being expressed in different ways?
Yes, the Jasba for the land. As an agriculturist, as a horticulturist, I really, voiced a lot of issues through my writing, you know, especially for citrus, and it's been there. There also, I'd formed an organization where we used to bring in a lot of academics and the industry, merge them together to educate the farmers how to handle pesticides, how to handle fertilization, how to shift from soil fertilization to spray based fertilization, irrigation methods. In fact, my father was the first one to bring uh, sprinkler irrigation to Punjab in '92 when India had opened up its diplomatic relationships with Israel. Yes.
So how does that spring up? Like, was your upbringing like that, that you were somehow there's more love or more pain that you feel?
I think my grandfather, there's a lot of influence, though I was young when he passed on, but his personality was this towering personality where he was called Sardar Sahib and, Choni Wale Sardar. So he carried the Sikh pride and the Punjab pride very well with his head high. I think maybe that's an impression that I have. I haven't come across someone so stellar, in terms of being proud of your roots and proud of your heritage.
So as a child, were you told stories about your family legacy or about Punjab in general or about our gurus, or like did you have that sort of childhood?
Not really. We were not uh, very religious, but yes, ਹਰ ਸੰਗਰਾਂਦ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਆਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਤੋਂ. Our house, as a child, I remember ਨਿਹੰਗ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਆਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ. ਹਰੀਆਂ ਬੇਲਾਂ ਵਾਲੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੇਲੇ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ, ਪਹਿਲੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਰੁਕਣਾ ਜਾਣ ਵੇਲੇ, ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਰੁਕਣਾ ਆਉਣ ਵੇਲੇ. ਬਾਹਰ ਬੋਰਡ ਸੀਗਾ ਥੜਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਘੋੜੇ ਲਾ ਲੈਣੇ ਸਾਰੇ. ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਰਿਮੈਂਬਰ ਉਹ ਐਡੀ ਲਿਸਟ ਆਂਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਸਮਾਨ ਦੀ, ਮਾਈ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡਫਾਦਰ ਰਿਕੁਆਇਰਮੈਂਟ. ਸੋ ਇਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਅ ਕਸਟਮ. ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਰਿਮੈਂਬਰ ਜੋਗਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਮੇਰੇ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡਫਾਦਰ ਦਾ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਾ. ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਈਡ ਆਊਟ ਹਾਊਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਉੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਕਾਮਰੇਡ ਵੀ ਰਹਿਣੇ, ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਘਰ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਸੋ ਯੈਸ, ਸੋ lot of association with the land.
So I was more focusing on the folklore or the ਜਿਵੇਂ like we have lost that culture where dada dadi nana nani used to narrate
My
stories.
grandmother was a very highly educated
Because
lady.
the genesis of that story writing.
So my grandmother was a very highly educated lady. She was in fact the first principal of Sidhwa Bait College.
ਅੱਛਾ
ਐਂਡ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਰਟੀਫਿਕੇਟ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ MA ਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਹਿਜ਼ ਕੱਟ ਕੇ ਹਰ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹਰ ਲਈ ਤਾਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ
there was no
there
certificate.
was no certificate. ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਨਫਲੂਐਂਸ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਬੜਿਆ
Yeah.
ਸੀ। ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਮਹਾਭਾਰਤ, ਰਾਮਾਇਣ,
Yeah, yeah.
ਗੁਰੂਜ਼,
Yeah.
ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਅਮਰ ਚਿੱਤਰ ਕਥਾ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਦਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਸੀ, ਮਤਲਬ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਮੇਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ।
Yeah.
ਟਿਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਾਈਡਿੰਗ 'ਚ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਜਾਂ ਕਾਲਜ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਵਿਗੜ ਗਏ, ਬਟ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ।
Yeah. So any one book that has inspired you and which you can recommend even today to people that okay, if you want to read a good book, read this.
I enjoy Osho's books. So my college, ਮੈਂ ਚੋਲਾ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਾਲਜ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ, ਤੇ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਕਾਲਜ ਸੈਕਟਰ 11 ਉਹਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਲਾਜਪਤ ਰਾਏ ਭਵਨ ਹੈ, ਉੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਹਫਤਾ ਓਸ਼ੋ ਦੀ ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ, ਓਸ਼ੋ ਦੀ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਲ ਤੇ ਲੱਗਣੀ ਐਗਜ਼ੀਬਿਸ਼ਨ। ਮੈਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਪਾਕਟ ਮਨੀ ਓਸ਼ੋ ਦੀ ਕਸੈਟਸ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਯਾਦ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਲਾਠੀ ਚਾਰਜ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦਾ, ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਲਜ ਵਾਲੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਵਾਲਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ, ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਈਡ ਹੋ ਜਾਓ, ਅਸੀਂ ਜਰਾ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਫੈਂਟਨੇ ਆ।
Because you were wearing a
I was wearing that chola.
So any influence of that Osho teaching?
Not really as an influence, but it soothed me. It soothed me. And when you're young, you read all the Hardy Boys, you read all the Jeffrey Archers, you read all the Grishams, you read all the Frederick Forsyths. Largely, मैं self-help books नहीं पढ़ता ज़्यादा. I don't find them very, especially, and I can tell you, if you've read Osho, you don't want to read any other self-help book. There's really nothing left, you know.
Yeah. So do you get attached to what you write? Any phrase, any sentence, any chapter which you think like this is mine, and you take pride in it and you take happiness out of it, or do you do it with everything?
I take pride in my work, but I have no, in fact, I was invited at the Ludhiana silent reading. So मैं कोई किताब तो लेके गया नहीं सी, मैं एक अपनी पढ़नी शुरू करती, and you know, I was surprised, मैं लिखिया सी, so there's no
so no, when you end a book and then it's going out, do you feel that sense of loss that now it's going away?
No, I don't feel that sense of loss. I feel that it is finding its journey. It must go. I don't have that. When a project finishes, you start getting bored. That's perhaps the feeling you get, that what to do now, you know.
So any advice to anybody who wants to write? Okay, you've talked about ke likho pehla and then we'll worry about publishing it. But still, let's say somebody is working very hard and they're writing every day.
They must read a lot. So mind, like I said, is a chip. How much of, you know, it's if you keep expanding this data, you know, you can make it 3 GB, you can make it 20 GB, you can make it 100 GB. So if you write, travel, meet people, have conversations, understand from a neutral point of view, your book will really go up. Otherwise, your own book will inhibit you. Your own ideas will inhibit you. What is a writer's block at times? I can say that it's because you're stuck, because you have been very closed in your approach, you know, and you're just trying to dig out a book through your limited data.
And also, you have to have that humility of being out there and people judging you and making comments on what you have done.
That's, I mean, really, I mean, critique is part of anything. But for that, you have to finish a book. In the sense that in 2007 when 6 Unlimited came, मेरा तो critique भी नहीं होया, मेरा तो सीधा accident था, senior खुशवंत सिंह दे नाम नाल जाके बजे.
Yeah.
So, but I had to deal with it. And I didn't, sob or
Were you
stop
named
writing.
Khushwant because somehow your
Yes.
parents wanted?
Yes, my grandfather, he studied in Government College Lahore, so he kind of knew the family.
Acha.
Uh,
So
and so
the
he
senior
was
Khushwant was the inspiration.
for my grandfather. Yes,
And then you followed his footsteps. That's something so really
So-
miraculous.
it just happened, and I met Khushwant Singh in 2003 or 4, and he also told me, he says, you are sitting in a hub of activity where there are so many stories. Why don't you write something? And but once I wrote, he didn't appreciate that I had used the name Khushwant Singh. But that's part of life, I guess.
Yeah. So Khushwantji, you were also talking about some collection of stories or lives of Sikhs on some website. So can you tell us something about it?
So, about 8 years ago, I started, documenting like Sikhs Unlimited, short biographies of the eminent Sikhs of the world. But I put them online. So
Acha.
these are very serious short biographies. These are not profiles, or these are not those blurbs like you see so many
Yeah,
of
yeah.
these sites,
Hanji, hanji.
They are serious biographies for the world to read. Because there are people who have excelled in their professions, so someone in France can read, a young boy who wants
Yeah.
to, be inspired by a techie's life. So there's a techie's life. There is the story of the Oberoi people.
Yes.
I interviewed Vicky Oberoi. I interviewed Dr. Manmohan Singh. His story is there. And so it's www.theglobalsikhtrail.com. So this is another passionate project. In fact, when you were in the university, I had sent you a request if these can be translated as an
Okay.
academic project.
Yeah. I remember, yeah.
But the most difficult part is getting these celebrities,
Yeah.
people like Diljit Dosanjh and
Hanji,
all these.
hanji.
They have so many dramas because, I mean, Dr. Manmohan Singh was so approachable. And imagine
Yeah.
these people have
You have to go
probably,
through agents and all.
yeah, but I mean, perhaps, if he was approachable, I don't understand where these people
Hanji.
stand in terms of,
Hanji.
the gentlemen.
I know. I have been a very avid reader all my life, and like whose books you have bought. You've gone to Sector 17 and bought a book. That author is sitting in front of me, and I'm in awe of you before I met you today. And like now, I'm more in awe after knowing you just for 50 minutes. But you've done an incredible job of so many things you have done. And I wish more power to you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
And are you writing another book?
I have a book in mind, uh, but I'm waiting for this movie to get over, I think in 3-4 months, because you virtually have to eat, drink, live a book. For example, for Opium Toffee, after COVID, the hotel rates had gone down a lot. So I booked myself in Bombay in the Oberoi for 10 days and just went and completed that book and came back because I was getting so distracted otherwise.
So we'll be waiting for your movie and also for the book. And best wishes to you for both.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
hosting
it
me.
was great talking with you. And there's like the time is limited, but in that limited time, I think I've tried to ask you too many things in one go.
No, that's fine.
But thank you for answering all my questions. और अगर आपको ये कॉन्वर्सेशन अच्छी लगी, अगर आप में थोड़ा सा कहीं कोई राइटर छुपा है या आपके आसपास है, So please find inspiration from this podcast and share it with other people. And if you have ever gone into a bookstore and bought a book, I'm very sure this conversation would be very inspirational for you. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe to In My Opinion for more such conversations. We'll meet you next time. Thank you so much for watching.